Everybody ready? So, look, I'll just keep it really simple. But this is the golden gold. Congratulations.
So first, when we started this game, we were starting this game with a new console generation. So that was a super interesting thing to solve because there was a certain amount of technology requirements that we hadn't had before. You know, things like these these great 3D audio engines that existed, the fast SSDs, really high-spec GPUs that allowed us to do amazing things like ray tracing that we've never been able to do on a console before.
I'll take myself back to the days of working on Dead Space with Glenn. We had a lot of ideas that we wanted to do. The ideas around the creatures, player, experienced the levels and the gameplay, but we just couldn't do it on those consoles at the time.
And one of the key things that we wanted to do early on was generate photorealistic characters, movie quality characters. We talked about movie quality characters at all times. And I think we've done that. I think you can see the representations of Josh or Karen in our game. Everybody's asking if they're photos. Everybody's asking if they're the real actors, if they're real filming, because we want to take that one-to-one representation of real-life rendering with our characters.
We do physical scans of every character within our game. Even our enemies, even the creatures are based on actual physical scans of people. So, you know, Josh Duhamel, who plays Jacob Lee, we bring him in and we scan every expression, every pore, every angle, the way a light bounces off of every part of his body and his face, and we roll those all into his character in the game so that when he's moving around, it's really how he moves. When he frowns, that's actually his expression. When the light bounces off his skin, it's based on exactly what light looks like as it bounces off his skin and how it's absorbed into his skin. There are so many different things that we've been able to do now that we couldn't have done before, that it just is a whole new experience.
So the great thing is that we've got these amazing 3D audio hardware in new consoles, which means we can do stuff with 3D audio we've never been able to do before. So I can make a sound with attenuation sound exactly where it is in my headphones or within my surround sound system. So that's amazing for horror. I can even make a sound different if it appears in a room. One of the things we used was portaling. And portaling is a way in which, how does a sound behave when you hear it from another room? So it portals through the expanse of the window or the door or the obstruction that it has in the room. So if someone's in a room next to you and they shout, they sound as if they're in that room. They use the correct volume, they use the correct attenuation, they use the correct bouncing of that audio for the individual sound cue.
Whoa. Wasn't that something?
Our approach to rendering, which was approaching it as a real-life interaction with light, I think that's provided us with a quality that you don't see in other games. We use a system called OLAT, which means one light at a time. So when we capture materials, we rotate the lights through different lighting mechanisms, and we capture the light response for materials. So we capture our faces in this way, we capture our cloth in this way, we capture all of our materials in this way. So then when I use that material like metal or glass or cotton in our game, it has all the correct light responses for that material. So that's a detail level you don't see in a lot of games that you really recognize in our game. There's even the minutiae, the very subtle detail is correct in its light response. For a general player, they won't understand the technology that's being used, but they'll notice the quality. They'll notice the quality that it feels right. It feels that's a real suit. That's really Josh. That's really Karen, because they feel that the quality of their light response is there.